Today we're going to talk about the coordinate plane. The coordinate plane is made up of an x and y axis, 4 quadrants, and within there's a bunch of points or coordinate points. Each point is written with an x value and then a y value with a comma and parentheses. This is what the coordinate plane looks like. The x-axis is this horizontal one, and the y-axis is the vertical one going up and down. Notice that we have 4 different sections created by the x and y axis. These are called quadrants, and we label them. This one is quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. We use Roman numerals when we label the quadrants. In quadrant 1, notice everything is positive. If I look on the x-axis, all of these numbers are positive, and on the y-axis, all of these numbers are positive. So any point in this area is positive, positive. In quadrant 2, I see the x value is negative and the y value is positive. So every point in this area will be negative, positive. Quadrant 3, the x value and the y value are both negative. And in quadrant 4, the x value is positive, but the y value is negative. So just by looking at a point, we can figure out which quadrant it is in based on whether it's positive or negative. This point right here in the middle at 0, 0 is called the origin. When we graph points, we start with the x value. So for example, if my point was 2, 8, this is x, this is y. I start with my x value of positive 2. From the origin, I go to the right 2 on the x, and then y is 8, so I go up 8. This point is 2, 8. I'm going to label it A. Okay, let's try another one. Point B is at negative 4, negative 5. I start with my x, and then I do y. From the origin, x is negative 4, so I go to the left 4, and then negative 5, I go down 5. That is point B. Point C, let's try negative 7, 1. Start from the origin again, we go to the left 7 and up 1. And point D, let's do 6, negative 3. Starting from the origin, we go to the right 6 and down 3. Notice that A is in the first quadrant, so they're both positive. B is in the third quadrant, so they're both negative. C is in the second quadrant, negative, positive. And D is in the fourth quadrant, positive, negative. A quadrant is 1/4 of the coordinate plane. Which is created by the x and y axis. And how do we remember where to begin numbering the quadrants and in what direction? The quadrants make the letter C. So if I go back and I look here, I start in quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4, it makes a big C. So if you want to think, it makes a C for coordinate plane to help you remember that it makes a C. That tells you where to start and which order to go. Okay, so just a reminder that the first value of a coordinate point is x and the second one is y. The x value goes left to right and the y value goes up and down. If there's a 0 in either place, that means the point is on an axis. Instead of in one of the quadrants, that 0 will put it on an axis. So let's go back and look. If I have the point 0, 9. Okay, my x value is 0, so I go left and right 0, and then I go up 9. Instead of being in quadrant 1 or quadrant 2, this point is on the y-axis. And if I had -8, 0, this time the x value go over to -8, and the y value is up and down 0. So I stop here. It's not in a quadrant, it's on the x-axis. This is everything you need to know about the coordinate plane.